Teenagers congregate on the streets of Auckland, intending to meet like-minded souls and compare haircuts. Their distinctive markings are evidence not of physical abuse, but of their belonging to a certain group. A group known as emos. Emos may look like indolent, fashion-conscious skunks, but their existence as a group is a reminder of a social construct that has long played a role in New Zealand society. A construct called tribes. When punks emerged from the postmodern protoplasm, few could have predicted that they would eventually evolve into the modern-day emo. Have you ever come across a emo?
Who?
An emo.
A what?
An emo.
Spell it.
E-M-O.
No.
I really like them.
No. It hasn't reached the north.
It's like you're chatting to someone that's handicapped. You know, because when you chat to someone that's handicapped, you know, maybe a deaf person, you say, "How are you?" "Oh, I'm fine, thank you." You know, you do the same with emo. So, "How are you?" "Oh, my, thank you." See, it's very similar.
200 years ago, our tribal pie chart would have looked like this. It's a far cry from today's pie. The modern New Zealander has formed himself into new tribal affiliations. Tribes Coupe could never have imagined. These are Trekkies, a tribe whose obsession with a TV show has led to impressively excessive behaviour.
What else could they be but visitors from the starship Enterprise? And they're boldly going where no man has ever gone before. Well, not in New Zealand anyway. Their mission is to attend the country's first Trekvention, which translated means a convention of Star Trek fans.
Ah, hello, Lieutenant. Would you and your party like to come in and take a seat, please?
They're getting together to share their fantasies and swap knowledge about the 79 TV episodes, and of course to catch up on the latest Klingon intelligence.
The general public would probably think us all a tad on the weird side.
Like other tribes, the Trekkies even have their own language.
Jabba Ajadash.
And their own form of indigenous broadcasting.
Reese, stand by. Transporter room, do you have them?
We've got 6. Circuits are now dead.
Security detail, transporter room at the double. What caused that?
But only one woman boldly went where no New Zealander had gone before. Onto the set of Star Trek itself, a magical wonderland of flashing quasar scopes and executive office chairs.
This is Paramount Studios in Hollywood. We're on part of the set of Star Trek the movie. This is the bridge or the control base of the USS Enterprise, starship of the 23rd century.
Remarkably, Karen Sims discovered a simmering sexual tension behind all the science fiction.
I've met girls who have appeared nude as one of their favorite characters as well. I've met grandmothers who have drawn erotic drawings of the characters.
Mr. Spock has a lot of sex.
Has what?
Sex appeal.
Does he really?
Yeah, I think, you know, women look at him and think, I can make him feel, I can break through to him.
Is? Oh.
Does he ever get involved with sex in Star Trek? Does he in the new movie?
Oh, you go right to the guts of it, don't you? No more fooling around here. That's good. That's good.
Oh, does he?
Does he what? I can't hear you. I don't have my ears on. I can't. Send them out to be sharpened. Women need the challenge? Is that what you're saying? That it's the challenge that's appealing? Yeah. Could I be the one to make this sleeping giant come to life? Wake him up, bring him around, as it were. Interest him. I see.
Has that never occurred to you before?
Did you have that feeling? Were you attracted to Mr. Spock in that way?
No.
Why not?
I don't like pointed ears.
I can understand that. To each his own, you know. I mean, it's not...
And it's time now to show.
Of all our isms, feminism is easily our best because at least it involves Sheilas. Albeit the hirsute and grumpy variety in comfortable shoes.
The whole advertisement was obviously made by men acting out their fantasies.
Feminism, or girl power as it was technically known, imagined a New Zealand that was a little less like a sausage sizzle and more like an orchid show. Or at least an orchid show with sausages on the side.
What real women live for, that, you know, they put their energies into all sorts of things, not just men. You know, I've really got better things to do than to go around moping after men, sort of thing.
It was to be the greatest social upheaval of the 20th century as women began to question their place in society. But where did it leave men?
A night out for these guys. They're friends, but more than friends in the way most Kiwi males understand it. They're brothers, but not from the same family. This is the male answer to the women's movement. Men's liberation, if you like.
Dazed and confused, men banded together.
I get quite a high out of these meetings.
The thing that I get out of here is I'm quite excited about sharing with men in an emotional way.
It's fun, it's exciting.
The group feels men are confused because traditional male images and stereotypes have become blurred and are often out of kilter with reality.
I want you to be more sensitive.
I want more independence. I want you to talk to me, really talk to me.
Seeking escape, men took to the sports field. But not to play sport.
Sunday in the park, a bit of fooling around. But there's more to this than fun.
I think it's sad that most men in New Zealand can't get close to other men, physically or emotionally, except at the bottom of the scrum. I think that's really sad.
Males are warm, sensitive human beings, just like females are. But were these men just pussies? Or was there something else going on?
One of the things that I wanted to get out of the group was to become more comfortable touching men.
What's that? This is a real process, isn't it? Doing it.
Does that feel better, Phil?
This is my city, and it will be a safe place for my wife to walk around in. Is that understood? Find out who the dead woman was, find out who killed her. Do it now. Hold up, hold up. Do it tomorrow morning, first thing. Beer o'clock, gentlemen.
Life on Mars, Mondays, TV1. The first Shiraz vine cuttings were brought to Australia in 1817. And when George Wyndham planted his vineyard in the early 1830s, little did he know that Shiraz, with its smooth drinking style and generous fruit flavour, would become Australia's most popular red wine. Wyndham Estate, where Australian Shiraz began.
Have you shifted house? Don't forget to update your electoral enrolment details.
To stay young, I take care of myself. So I invest in my skin. For a long time, I've been searching for the miracle face cream. And now, I've discovered Dermagenesis.
Dermagenesis is different. It helps stimulate cellular renewal for young-looking skin.
Only Dermagenesis contains 2 molecules with a fantastic power, Proxylan and hyaluronic acid. Everybody's talking about it. Skin is replumbed, tautened, illuminated.
New Dermagenesis from L'Oréal Paris helps stimulate cellular renewal for young-looking skin.
We're worth it.
No need for expensive re-roofing. Ko-Fi will add years of life to the roof you've got. Mossy roofs put right, 1 treatment, or stone chip replaced, or concrete tiles recoated in new colour. Ko-Fi. Quotes are free. 0800 Ko-Fi.
At Valentine's, you dine free on your birthday. That's right, dine free on your birthday.
Ajax Professional. Put it to the test.
Hello, Ajax Protein. What's your challenge?
Thick, burnt-on sauce.
Ajax Professional Ultra Kitchen Degreaser.
There!
Its reinforced degreasing power formula breaks up burnt-on sauce, leaving surfaces super shiny.
Ajax Protein.
Help with this burnt-on grease.
Ajax Professional Ultra Kitchen Degreaser. Put it to the test.
Radiant's Body and Soul Essential Nutrients. 1 sachet at night. Simple.
You may well know that cranberries have health benefits. But did you know that they can actually help cleanse and purify the body?
That's because they're rich in unique natural compounds and antioxidants. These assist the body in flushing out certain toxins. With its refreshing taste, Ocean Spray Cranberry Classic can be enjoyed daily. Ocean Spray Cranberry Classic and Cranberry Light, the simple detox. Recent studies on joint mobility have scientifically shown that taking glucosamine with chondroitin may help support joint function. That's why new VoltaFlex Plus contains a carefully balanced combination of both glucosamine and chondroitin. Glucosamine supports cartilage repair. Chondroitin supports joint cushioning. VoltaFlex Plus is also gentle enough to be taken daily. New VoltaFlex Plus, available only at your pharmacy.
Look out for Family Health Diary magazine.
Many tribes have come to this land, but not all have managed to survive. By the 1970s, the previously taboo subject of Maori tribal affiliations had even made its way into our sitcoms.
Constable, Dr. Rangi. Cuban?
Ngāi actually. But my mother was half Tūhoe. So, how can I help?
I think I might be depressed, Doc.
Really? Well, have you been upset recently?
Well, I went to that bar in town the other night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the one with the jukebox, and Pete the barman asked me what I wanted, and I said, surprise me.
And?
He showed me a picture of him and my wife in a spa pool. You could see her bloody buzzies.
Hector's dolphin. You have to act on this smartly.
Oh, too right. I'm not going to let that happen again.
What are you going to do?
Next time, I'm ordering rum and coke. Oh, Dr. Rangi. Dr. Rangi.
Nowadays, when we think of Rastas, we think of Robert Nesta Marley and top quality cannabis sativa like this. It's Tapuki Thunder. But 20 years ago, Rastas meant something quite different. They meant arson, rustling, and even murder. The Rastafarians of Ruatoria were one of the most feared tribes to emerge in the 1980s. A blend of mystic Maoritanga and Bob Marley fueled by poverty and chronic unemployment saw a war on the East Coast that lasted for nearly 10 years. Ruatoria became a kind of Wild West where law had a tenuous hold as the dreadlocked outlaws terrorised the town. The Rastas went on a burning spree, incinerating farms, classrooms, the police station, the courthouse, 3 Maori churches, and even the fire station. Then the cops exacted their own utu, capturing and torturing one of the Rastas, or so the Rasta claimed.
A close look at the cuts and bruises on Maxwell's body, and it becomes clear that those injuries are entirely consistent with his story.
The worst one was this one. They cut me locks. They reckon, are you going to be a Rasta? I said, yeah. They said, we'll cut your locks off. I shook my head out and said, do it. I cursed the man who had the scissors.
But worse was to come when the group's leader, Chris Campbell, was shot dead by trigger-happy farmer Luke Donnelly.
I have no regrets that Chris Campbell is dead.
Donnelly was acquitted on the murder charge, but his home didn't escape utu. Meanwhile, another North Island town was also on fire, but in this case, the burning was on the dance floor. Of all the tribes in New Zealand, there's only one that can lay claim to having a #1 popular music hit single, and they are the Pātea Maori Club, based here in Pātea. The disco kapahaka crossover hit went on to become a national treasure.
A deadbeat husband may be gone and buried.
We're all guilty of covering up a murder.
But now what?
Your husband has run away with another woman.
Brian?
Yes.
Who would want him?
A little creativity may be all it takes.
What? How can I lie to them?
You go to prison, they've got no one.
To get away with murder.
You have to get rid of everything you think Brian might have taken with him.
Excuse me.
Oh,
looks like we might have found him. Oh, God.
All new Burying Brian. Wednesday, TV1.
For teeth with a brightness you can see, reach out for Reach Clean and Whiten, the only toothbrush with unique micro scrubbers that whiten your teeth in as little as 2 weeks. So for a superior clean and whiter teeth, get Reach Clean and Whiten.
If you've shifted house recently, you need to update your electoral enrolment details. Don't worry, it's easy. Just call 0800 36 76 56. Free text your name and new address to 3676 or enrol online at our website.
Got nasty condensation? Install an HRV ventilation system. Use the free warm air from up here generated by the sun to circulate warm, dry air down here and sort your condensation out. H, it's for happy families.
With 25% off absolutely everything, there's something for absolutely everyone in the massive Lighting Plus 25% off absolutely everything sale on now.
More than just great prices, Lighting Plus.
Absolutely.
At Valentine's, kids dine free every Tuesday night and lunch only $15.95.
You can use the next 15 seconds to check your smoke alarms. Just get up right now and push the test button. And if you don't have any smoke alarms, make sure you get some tomorrow.
If you feel we've breached broadcasting standards, send a formal complaint to us at the address on screen. There's more information on our website.
This roof lets the rain get in. This roof looks awful long. This roof's been a pain again. This roof is hiding warm.
When your old roof has had its day, give Metalcraft a call for a new roof you'll be proud of. Choose the classic elegance of tiles or the contemporary look of a long-run steel roof. And because they make and fit your roof, Metalcraft guarantees your roof every step of the way. Call 0800 341 341 for your roofing solutions guide.
A Day on the Green returns with the voice of the American heartland. John Mellencamp performing all his classic rock anthems and more. With special guest Sheryl Crow. A Day on the Green at the Mudhouse Winery and Cafe, Waipara, Sunday, December 7th. Presented by Roundhouse Entertainment, Radio Hauraki and Classic Hits. Tickets on sale Monday.
Big Save's new Christchurch store in Northwood is now open with 4 days of grand opening specials, double Flybuys points and a great finance deal. Opening specials must end Monday at Big Save's new store, Northwood Supercentre, Christchurch.
Time for Big Save!
People loved how he had Dad's favourite jazz band at the funeral. The music brought back so many wonderful memories for everyone.
For a funeral as unique and special as they were, Academy Funeral Services, here to help you through.
Nowadays, when we hear the words White Russian, we think of the popular milky cocktail, along with drunkenness, casual sex and the unwanted pregnancies that can result from drinking too many of these. But in 1960s New Zealand, the term White Russians meant something quite different. It meant actual Russians. It meant Russians in Southland. What you are witnessing is the only known recorded evidence of people enjoying shopping in Invercargill. The year was 1965, and one of the most curious stories in New Zealand immigration history was being played out. The arrival of 73 Russian religious refugees, known as the Old Believers.
These people are inheritors of a faith that goes back to mid-17th century Russia.
The Old Believers were an obscure religious sect. They had broken from the Russian Orthodox Church and were forced into exile. They forsook the wilds of Siberia for the wilds of Southland. It was all God's will, for this was the work of our local churches.
We in Christchurch had the difficult task of saying, now where in New Zealand do we put these people, you see? And in the end we settled on Southland. This was not, as some people might say, because the climate of Southland is akin to the climate of Siberia. That had nothing at all to do with it.
Cast out of the Red Soviet Union, the Old Believers were known as White Russians. But what to do with these strange visitors? Being a generous people, New Zealanders found them jobs, homes and crockery.
Not in every case, but in most cases, the churches reconditioned the house. They completely furnished it, even to filling the larder.
With food in their larders, the Russians were put to work.
He's quite a good worker. He's good with stock and not very good with the tractor because very little mechanical experience and it can't be acquired in a hurry. He is very good at things he knows a little bit about. He's shod our horse for us and done that in a really workmanlike manner. And it was very interesting to note that the morale rose very noticeably. This was a job that he understood and could do.
The Old Believers were taught English by a woman with Southland's most amazing cleavage.
Some adults are lucky. They have friendly neighbours who call regularly and give them lessons in basic English.
Open.
Open.
Open. The.
No.
Open.
Window.
Open window.
Window.
How long have you been learning English?
Every day 4 hours.
For how long? How much time?
Oh, every day 4 hours.
Despite the warm welcome, Keith Holyoake's national government refused to allow the Old Believers to live as a community of exclusive brethren. Instead of being allowed to form a community here in Invercargill, the White Russians were scattered across the most desolate parts of Southland. Here, 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 and worst of all, here. All in the name of integration.
We have deliberately chosen to let this group live as separate families in Southland. We have divided up the community.
Is this a good idea, to divide them up like this?
Well, it's an experiment.
An experiment. Once again, New Zealand indulged in one of its favourite pastimes, social engineering. But what happens when you play with people's lives? When the cameras returned 20 years later, only one family had remained in Southland. The future looked as grim as a cabbage pastry.
Is the Old Faithful community going to survive in New Zealand?
I don't think so.
And so it was. Thanks to the disease of good intentions, the Old Believers became the New Zealand tribe who were lost, found, and lost once more. Of course, the White Russians weren't the only group to run screaming from Southland. The very year that the Russians arrived in Southland, the district received a more stinging rebuke from a world-famous visitor. When the Rolling Stones toured here in 1965, Mick Jagger described Invercargill as the arsehole of the world, to which a witty local replied, "That must mean you're just passing through." However, it's not for Rolling Stones, but for rolling R's that Invercargill and the Southland tribes are best known.
Now, do you roll your R's? Only when I'm drunk.
Girl, bird, nurse, work, purse. She does.
Girl, bird, nurse, work, pierce.
Yeah, you do roll your R's, eh? Thank you.
Pulls all the checks.
The rolling R isn't likely to die out because it's being encouraged in the young.
I've got kids here that've had 3 or 4 generations go to the school, so their Southland accent's quite strong. We're just going to read the words together. First one, girl. Second one, bird, nurse, work, nurse.
We are proud Southlanders.
The rolling R may have been unique, but it struck fear into neighbouring tribes. Terrified mainlanders north of Invercargill feared the accent would spread like syphilis, infecting and inflicting their cultured tongue. To stop the rot setting in, the people of Otago erected this accent-proof fence. It's designed to keep out the Southland patois, and it still works to this very day. But the Southland gene, which causes the rolling R, also produces more malignant characteristics, especially in one Southland town.
And that's Gore, the hoon capital of New Zealand.
They were young, they were bored, they were bad boys with bad haircuts. Some called them morons, or worse, gorons.
Everybody in this town is just about have a guts full of them, basically.
The police were impotent in the face of such wayward white trash.
What you are not hearing is the barrage of cheek.
Suck my purple cock. Gore soon went to pieces, fearing national embarrassment.
The situation's ridiculous. We are a laughing stock. When this gets to here, we'll be a real laughing stock.
Like a little Lucifer fire starter, the town's mayor sought to light a fire under the Gorons.
There was an incident the other day where I pulled into the Centre Park beside a carload of these youths and they just held a stubby up to me.
Up yours as well.
Yeah, exactly, as simple as that.
If nothing else, the Gorons helped to preserve our national heritage by maintaining the last of our big block V8s, straight sixes and, to a lesser extent, rotaries. Kupe could never have known that the land his tribes would fight and die for would one day be occupied by tribes of white, middle-aged men chasing little white balls barely larger than a young boy's testicle. While our tribal affiliations may differ, each of us is an important part of the one tribe to which we all belong.